Welcome back to the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast. We have another episode. Today is episode 42. 42. And it's going to be a good one. Today I have an awesome R&B artist who's like up and coming, like new to this game. Well, as far as like it's new to me, to be honest with you, but they've been working for a minute from what I know. But we got Bornouttalove, aka Dakota.
What's good, y'all?
What's going on? Actually, I did that backwards. It's Dakota, aka Bornouttalove.
Hey, it's the same thing.
It's all good. All right, it's one and the same. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, dude. I'm chilling.
Cool.
Happy to be here.
I'm excited. I'm glad we got you to be able to come in. Like,
yeah, me too. Like, I've only been on one podcast before.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is still kind of new to me. It's really cool.
Yeah. That's most people like that I have on here is like, oh, this is like the first time. Like, how does it like all flow and how does it go? But it's honestly, we're just gonna talk and it's gonna become a thing. But I'm excited to have you on here because I the first time seeing you was at the Xavier second show. His headliner show here at the Post, which repping that Xavier merch. But and that was my first time like getting to hear you. But you like do some really like cool like dope R&B shit, man. That's badass. Like
it ranges. I mean, the style, it's just different elements, I'd say, in the music. Like there's some R&B elements, and then there's some like pop and synth pop and stuff. Like it all ranges. So just whatever sounds good to me, I guess.
Have you like is that been like, I mean, since you started doing music, is that kind of what you've leaned more into? Is that kind of what you've like listened to most, or is it just what you've drawn to?
Yeah, I would say like, because the influences, they range, because kind of like growing up, I started writing songs when I was like, I want to say 15 or 16, kind of when I was like learning guitar and I was learning a bunch of different instruments. And at the time I was listening to mainly like pop punk and like new metal and just like heavier sounds.
Yeah.
But I always still attracted to more melodic stuff. So in my music today, basically it could be really any style just as long as it has a pretty melody, I guess, and it just kind of makes you feel something, I don't know.
I feel
that's
that.
the best way to put it, because you could say R&B, you could say pop, or I typically like just call it pop. Like just stuff that's catchy and that like melodies you remember, you know what I mean? That you'll be humming in your head and stuff. Like that's kind of
that's kind of what I'll group pop together in that, and that's like what do you refer to as pop? And that's all it is. Literally, when you said melodies, you like remember. Like that's exactly the perfect description for what I think like pop is, and because of that, it encapsulates a wide range of stuff, which I'm grateful for, because I feel like growing up, like I always mention this, but like pop music was like, oh, like that's like your basic shit or something. Like I used to like be that type of person, but like as more I've grown, because I categorize now pop as just like the catchy shit, and it literally is the stuff that it's like you're going about your day and then you realize like, what the hell is that? Like stuck in my head. And it's like a song. It's like, oh, okay, those are the ones you take back with you. You know what I mean? That stay around. Yeah. So it's a really interesting thing to like kind of experiment with. Yeah. But that's kind of crazy that you were listening to like a lot heavier stuff, but like the melodies. I relate to that quite a bit because like I played in a metal band like for years.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Yeah. In a band called Under Oblivion. Yeah.
What did you play?
I was the singer. I did singing and screaming, but I only learn how to scream because I always wanted to sing in something. So I'm like, I joined that band. I'm like, I was like, fuck it, I'll scream, like, but I really just want to sing. You know what I mean? So I've always been drawn to like melodies and stuff that sounds pretty. That's why like when I discovered bands like Dance Gavin Dance, when Johnny Craig was in it, I was like, what the fuck is that? Like this dude screaming his ass off, but then like this like really pretty like melodies. I'm like, oh, that's really nice like to make. Yeah. Plus, again, like as being your own artist, like having those melodies stick in people's heads when you play like shows, is like super like rewarding. You know what I mean?
It is super rewarding, and it's just kind of like the whole, I guess, the goal of it, like, because my goals with the music is, well, obviously I want to make stuff that sounds good to me. Like when I make a song, it's typically a demo, and it's a demo forever until I finally finish it. But I think the reason I do that is because it's like, can I listen to this over and over again and still enjoy it? Because if I can, other people can. Yeah. I think, music's like taste in music's subjective, but you can look at it objectively in a sense and just kind of like, can I listen to this over and over again? You know what I mean? Like, is this catchy? Is this like pretty? Is it something that like you're attracted to? Yeah. So I ask myself those questions when I make a song, and I'm like, okay, if I can like check those boxes, and I'm like, okay, I think it's good enough. Like, I think, you know what I mean? I think other people can feel the same, because I think we all really enjoy music similarly, not exactly the same, but we all love a good melody. We love a good chorus. We like, interesting lyrics. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think all of us kind of listen to music the same, in a sense.
In a sense, we all have different tastes and stuff. And,
For sure.
And that's like, I mean, you're never going to have like the same like exact taste on everything. Yeah. And not everyone's going to have your same taste. And like, especially when you become an artist, it's kind of, you start really, like you said, like you were listening to like all this heavier stuff, but I'm sure like elements of that ended up like in the way you write like now.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like there's the thing you said, like being able to play it over and over yourself and listen to it. Yeah. It's weird, but I always touch on that bass where like I got to a point where I was writing music, and then I was like, I don't even like listen to like the stuff that I put out, and I'm like, I should like be really hyped to hear this stuff. Like I should really like it. I should really enjoy it. Yeah. And if I don't, then I'm like, that's a problem. And that's why like I went a good while like without writing stuff, because I got to that point and I was trying to find it again. Yeah. And then lately, like I've been writing some stuff, but it's more just like, I just want to, like, I'm working on a new project, and I'm like, I talked to the guys. I'm like, the only thing I really want to do out of this is like, I want to make music that I like, that I can listen to, that I want to replay and play again. And the thing is, when you write music in that sense that you enjoy, like, first of all, your shows like end up being like super like awesome because you enjoy like performing what you're actually playing and listening to it. And then like there's always going to be people that are going to vibe with it because you vibe with it like that hard. Like there's always people. There's always a niche group for like every like type of thing to do.
And people can see your confidence on stage. Like if people see that you're rocking with your own music and you love your own music and you just have all this energy and passion for it, people feed off that, you know what I mean? Because they want to feel that too. Like, it's just this good feeling, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's like when Xavier performed, like, I think the whole crowd could feel that they were enjoying the music. They were playing so excellent. They were just killing it, dude. They were putting on the best show, and it's because they love the music, you know what I mean? They love what they're doing. And it's just energy that's kind of going back and forth, you know what I mean? Like, the band feels it, the crowd feels it. The band's feeding off the crowd and crowd's feeding off the band. And it's going back and forth. It's really cool. So, yeah, if you just love what you're making and you just keep, making it, and eventually, bro, like, it just becomes, I don't want to say it. Like, you put dish soap in, like, a cup with water and it filters out all the... Like, you know what I mean? Like, eventually all your best music comes out when you just keep making things you like. Because I've been making music since 2017, 18. And back then, I thought those songs were the shit. Yeah. Like, it's really bad writing. And I thought it was so good. Yeah. Like, and I would listen to my music all the time. Like, oh, this EP's the shit. I'm about to blow up, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And like 5-6 years later, I'm just like, oh, that music was ass. But I loved it. And I still love it. Like it was like hit songs on the radio. You know what I mean? Like my favorite songs. And now the music's gotten so much better just doing that, like good music speaks for itself. Like, I don't know, if you're just making what you love to make, eventually it becomes just really, really good,
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing that you can't let, like right now, like you're looking back and be like, oh yeah, that music's like not as good as like I thought it was. But if you never wrote that music, you'd never be writing the music you're writing today. Exactly. You know what I mean? You need to write. There is a progression, and there will be a point, like once you keep going your trajectory, the music you're making now, you're like, oh, I'm making way better shit now. Maybe it's just because the experience, the writing experience, collabing with people, learning new ways to write things. Like you're always, as far as like being a musician, you're always gonna want to be pushing yourself. Like whether you think about it or not, you're always getting influences from like everywhere you go, or everything you listen to, or it's just even from your own like writing techniques. You start looking at like, oh, like I write all my stuff and I write this similarly. Like, what if I just flip this up? Or you end up trying like different like genres. That's why like I talk about this a lot. But the bands who end up like changing like or artists who end up changing their style like radically, I'm like, I can see that because like you can't like write the same stuff. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, like the stuff you were thinking about, you wrote early on. Like you right now, you're like I wouldn't write that like again and again and again. You know what I mean? You want to keep like pushing and learning like new stuff. So you say you started in 2017? Is that when like Bornouttalove started, or was that just like you writing music in general? So
it's actually funny. So that's kind of when I started writing music in general. That's when I started, I guess, producing. Because basically, I've been playing music since I want to say 2012 or 2013. And I just started like playing drums, and then drums kind of led to like bass, and then just learning all the instruments, or learning like a few of them and just understanding the basics to them. To eventually I got to a point where I was like, okay, I want to actually like write songs. When it came to like in 2016, I had I just got a small interface, Studio One, like the basics, like, and I just started like recording tracks, like, and nothing was on time and everything was offbeat, but it was like cool because it was just introduced. I was just introduced to like this new thing of songwriting, and in 2017, I got some new equipment because I wanted to play in a band. I'd always wanted to be in a band, but I didn't know any musicians, so I was like, okay, well, how can I record my own music, make my own music? And then I went to Guitar Center. I bought some equipment. I bought a beat machine, the machine, you know, and started making beats, and from there it just took off. Got another program, my DAW that I use now to record, started recording vocals, and it just kind of built up from there. But 2017 is when it started. Now, releasing music, I started releasing music, I think, in 2018. Okay. And I went by just my first and middle name, Dakota Ryan. And then 2020, I just decided to change my name. I don't know why. I just wanted to change everything. I guess I was getting kind of, I don't know if stagnant or kind of just not feeling what I was doing before. And I was like, I want a new change. I want a new start with music, and I want to go hard. Like, I have these like ideas and visions for what I want to do with music, but I want to put like a name on it, like a brand name or like a face over it, you know? So I changed it to Bornouttalove, which how I got the name is the funniest story. And, I'm gonna be telling this story for the rest of my life. So
I'm glad you're bringing it up without me asking, because I was gonna ask. I'm like, how did you know?
So my dad, and this is kind of embarrassing, but it's fine. My dad calls me his love child. So my parents each had previous marriages before they got together. Okay. I think it's funny because they each had a son and daughter with their previous marriages, and then those marriages didn't work. They got together. They had me. They had already met each other 14 years prior when they were in their teens. Wow. Yeah, they had because my dad's dad was in a Tejano band, and my mom, her aunt, was a promoter. So there was like this Tejano Awards in Texas. I don't remember where. Yeah. They all pulled up. They saw each other, something like that, and then they met or whatever. They broke up because it was long distance. So back then they were like,
it's even harder.
We ain't got no, we ain't got Instagram. Like,
did you get my letter? Like,
for real? Like, can't be calling on the phone. So it didn't work, and they went on with their lives. And then like 14 years later, they got back together again, and they had me. Now the funny part is when my dad is being a clown, and he's telling me exactly, like, he's like, oh, I was making you all night long, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no. I knew what color hair you were going to have, what color eyes you're going to have, blah, blah, blah. All this shit. Like, he just, like, he wanted a son. Like, he wanted his son. And he's just like, so you were the love child, like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, huh. That's actually pretty good. I was like, because I was going to change my name to Love Child. And I was going to make, like, bedroom pop in 2020. That's what I was going to transition to, because at the time, like, that was kind of popping. And so when I went to make the Instagram, Love Child was already taken. And then I Googled Love Child, and there's like 2 groups named that. Oh, so I was like, okay, this isn't going to work. When I made the Instagram, I was like, well, what's a love child? Well, someone's born out of love. But the way I spelt it, I was like, well, I kind of wanted it to look like Party Next Door, how it's all one word. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like, oh, this kind of looks fucking cool. I was like, nah, I think we can just roll with this. Yeah. And so I just went with it. And I don't know, it's just so funny, like the origins of the name and then how it actually came about it. But yeah, that's how it came about. And then from 2020, that's when I started kind of focusing on like the sound and everything. And then just kind of this year, it's just transitioned, dude. Like, I'm working on an album right now, and I'd say all these songs are different from each other, you know? Okay. But I feel like they're all songs you can enjoy. Even even the show, when I opened for Xavier, a lot of the songs, like the first 2 were very more, I'd say pop, like with the way the drums rolled and the synths and everything. And then it just kind of started coming down to a different style and a different vibe with like songs like Tired of Me, No One Like You. Just some of my tracks, like it changes. Like the instrumentals change, the vibe changes, the way they move, like everything. So that's why I said, earlier, like when it comes to genre or style or whatever, I don't really know.
Yeah.
And I just generalize it as pop because it's all different. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's all enjoyable because that's what I try to work on is writing genuine songs, shit I go through in life. But like when it comes to the music, make it as catchy and enjoyable and memorable and just something I can listen to over and over again and just really enjoy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like throw it in a playlist and when it comes on, I don't change it because it's my song. You know, it's just I listen to it because like I wrote something I wanted to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I write songs, I try to write my next favorite song. Like if I can't find it on Spotify, I'll make it.
I like that.
Yeah. And so that's just that's that.
I like that attitude because it's the right attitude. Like you should be like writing this music. I mean, sure, there's many ways to write, but like writing stuff and you're like excited like to hear it, listen to something you create. And actually like enjoying it like is great. It's the whole point of like writing music. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like it's why like most of us like got our start like being artists and like writing is just because like we wanted to write. Just like thought it's cool. We listened to music and I'm like we heard a song or like an artist or something, be like, it must be really cool. Like, what do they feel like? Because I think that's what I used to see and be like, oh, these people just like when for some reason like artists and like musicians just seem like so far away from me at a certain point where I'm like. And then it got to a certain point where I just look at it, I'm like, oh, these are just people that got together and wrote music. Like, and then just they created these songs. Like, you see these like gigantic hits and stuff like that. I'm like, that was just like people like getting together and like writing it. But
and you see how much fun they're having. Like, it sounds, I don't know why I feel like it sounds cliche, but if you look at like Travis Scott's documentary, there's only one part, and I think it's when he's recording either No Bystanders or Astroworld. I don't remember what song he's recording. They're in this big house. Like he's recording in the living room. But as soon as he gets done, he's just jumping on the couch, like listening back to it. He's like hyped. Like that's how I always want to feel when I make a song. You know what I mean? It's like that excitement, that love, that like as soon as you perform it, it's gonna go crazy. Like people are gonna go nuts for the song. And that's like a feeling I chase too because I do that now. Like I'll make a beat and I'll be like, fuck, this goes crazy. Like I'm already jumping in my room. Like I'm getting lit to it already. Like that's like something I really chase when I'm making music. And even the slow and sad stuff, like I do the same shit. Like I'll jump around.
That's still like, so like, it's funny because like as of recent, like I've been writing like some shit that's like sad. And then like I'll say some like real sad shit and like we'll like be recording vocals and I'm like recording it. And it's like some like really like sad stuff. And then I'll hit stop recording. I'm like, oh shit, that was fucking fire. And like, but I'm excited. Like I'm doing like, it's a way to like to process like emotion, but still be like making something like dope that I like makes me feel better. And like creating is a thing that like just makes me feel good. So anytime like any emotion I have and I just want to record something, I'll record it. But yeah, like I've realized that feeling is way better than like trying to physically just sit down and be like and trying to write like something that somebody else is gonna like. I'm like, if I just focus on writing shit that like makes me feel like that, it's gonna fucking hit like somewhere. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because like you said in live shows, especially like everyone feeds off the energy. So if people like see you like really loving the shit that you're doing, like they're gonna like vibe with you. And I've had that experience a lot with like. Bands that I've never listened to before or anything like that, and going and seeing them like, dude, they're having a fucking great time, and it gets me hyped. And yes, I'll go home and start looking up all their music.
And then you want to know everything about them because you're like, what was making them feel so good? Then you start listening to the music and you're paying attention to the lyrics, and it all just starts hitting different. Like I don't know, it's really cool. But yeah, dude.
So how are you approaching? Like you said, you're working on an album. Like how do you like approach like taking on like a project like that?
So really it's song by song. I've tried to sit down and conceptualize a project. It doesn't really work like that for me. So I typically, when I'm in a period of time where I'm creating a lot and I'm making a lot of instrumentals or I'm writing guitar riffs or whatever, and it's just consistent creation back to back, they all follow the same themes. Now, themes in terms of like, it's consistent. So the sounds are very similar. Progressions, lyrics, like they're just really like I guess, cohesive, just consistent back to back. And it ended up sounding like an album. Not intentional. Mm-hmm. But as soon as I have like 6 or 7 of these things, I'm like, okay, I think I can actually put these together, tie a bow on it, and call it done. Like, you know, as a project. Mm. I never I've tried to start a project by track 1 and be like, okay, what's this project gonna sound like? Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. I can't do that. Like, it just comes naturally. Like, I think music, like, I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but like when you're writing or when you're making something, you know the difference between when you're trying to do it, like forcefully, or when it's just coming natural. There's a tremendous difference.
There's a big difference.
It's insane.
Forcing it will always not be comfortable. Will always like, you'll know it. Like we're like, okay. And I've tried, like you said, like it's interesting that, you know, we've all probably at one point like sat down and be like, okay, like I want to write about this or a song that sounds like this. Yeah. And I'll try and it's not coming out. I'm like, I've learned to be like, if it doesn't like come out like very easily, then it's like, all right, fuck it. Like, and maybe like come back to it later or do something. But it normally just letting it organically like come out will make music that's more what I consider like authentic, because it's literally in the state that you're in, like at the moment, you know, whatever frequency you're on or whatever like mood you're in or whatever, like if you just let that flow, you'll capture like something like real, like legitimate, like and it's what ends up making like some of my favorite music, you know what I mean, like those when you're not forcing it, when it's coming out natural. And I do that a lot, like when I like write lyrics and stuff like that, like I'll vibe out like an instrumental or something like that, and then like I don't know what I'm gonna sing about until like that shit loops in my head for like, you know, I don't know how many times, and then I normally I'll just like start humming melodies, like some words will come out. I'm like, okay, why did those come out? Like let's you know, connect those dots and figure out what that theme was, or you know, like let it sounds. It's another thing that like I feel like always sounds like corny as hell to say, but it's like, oh, like, you know, the song kind of tells me like what it'll be about. Yeah, but it's just like this vibe like you'll get like you'll
even hit a phrase, just a random phrase, and you're like, what's the significance of this? Before you know it, the whole song's written, like, off of one phrase. Yeah. My favorite thing is, and I've done this recently, my most recent post on my IG, it's a clip of a song. It's called Don't Tell Me You're in Love. And still working on it, like mix and master and stuff, but it's coming out soon. When I made that song, it was originally, like, really slow and on acoustic and just sounds like, I don't know, just like an old, what I'm thinking, like Audio Slave or like Linkin Park, just real slow and like melancholic and, you know, really down, right? And I was like, you know what, this sounds really good. I'm gonna start making like the beat for it. And I pulled up these like electric keys, and they sound like some R&B keys from the 90s, like out of just some, you know, like what the fuck is that song called? Return of the Mac. You know how that song's been trending? Like, it just I don't know why it made me think of that. And I was like, and I started like, I set the BPM up and I just started recording the keys. I was like, oh no, this is a total different, something else. Like, this is a total different beast. And this song is just like, I don't know, it just reminds me of like 90s, I don't know, like ballads from the 90s, R&B ballads. But it has like reggaeton drums in it. You know what I mean? So the vibe just switched completely, but it all came naturally. It started like
that's way different than where it started.
With like one instrument, then it led to the other instrument, and it just like it flows so well. And that's my favorite because, you know, like songwriting is one thing, but like beat making and producing, something like I used to really put a lot of time and effort to. Now it's just strictly songwriting, and I don't really make beats for anything or anyone. Like if I make a beat, it's because it's going to be a song. And so like, it's just, I don't know, I love it. It all comes together at one time, and it's just so organic and it flows so well, and it comes out good. You know what I mean? Like, it's just really cool.
And that's one thing I will say, like, I do, like, I am jealous of that ability of like the producer side of it, because you can create, like you were saying, like at the beginning, it's like, oh, like, you know, you wanted to be in a band but couldn't find all these people to work with. But like being able to make your own thing, like from beginning to end, like is such, like, it feels like just like being so powerful and so, like, and creative. Because I'm like, bro, like literally, I don't know why, like, because I think of that and I'm thinking of like me writing, like, man, I can like write singing melodies and stuff like that, but like I'm not completely like handy with like an instrument to like write at the moment. But yeah, I'll see like people who create the entire like song, like, you know, you like actually like DJ Daniel like will do that, and like he's like an instrumentalist and like will do his own vocals and stuff like that. I'm like, that's so fucking cool, because the idea in your head, you get it like out, you know what I mean, completely relying on yourself. I know it's hard. I know like you've definitely like worked your way there, like to learn all these things to be able to do it. But it's definitely like a really powerful thing. It's something that I've honestly respected a lot about you know, musicians like nowadays, is that a lot of them like have that ability to do like, and are putting out songs like super fast, or just ideas, just getting them out. Like the ability to just do that is just fascinating. It's just really awesome.
A lot of your like favorite artists coming up now, they've learned to produce on their own. They're making beats, they're engineering, and they're like crazy good at engineering. And they just take like a year of just doing it so consistently, and just YouTube and like Instagram reels of like how to do this, how to do that, and before you know it, dude, they're like charting, like you know what I mean, like they've blown up somehow. Like it's crazy. And it's wild just how fast like people are becoming, or like artists are becoming producers and engineers while writing their songs. Is because I don't know, there's just so many resources where you can do it on your own.
It just makes sense, you know what I mean? To have that ability, you know what I mean? Like to be able to be as far as like what I can see in like industry and just like musician stuff, like it's the more self-sufficient you can be, like it's just the better like your music or whatever you're putting out is going to be. Like, what if you can find out how to do most like everything like on your own, it just allows you to move at the pace you want, which is why like I feel like people are, I don't know, like I like the whole battle between like independent and like label like artists and stuff like that. Like as an independent, like you can, if you have those skills and everything, like you can create like whatever you want, like at any time. And like, you know, right, like you were saying, like all the songs like sound a little different, like that you're making. You know, you have that freedom too to be able to create like whatever you want. But definitely having a skill set is something that I feel like it's becoming more commonplace, like in like music now. Like being able to do more than just like, okay, you're not just the artist, you're also like you produce your own stuff, or you know how to create your own content on this and that, or all this stuff, like all this, like you the more skills of that like that you attain to yourself, the more like they're just the better ability you have to like spread like your artistry, I guess, to
exactly out. And like you said, it's going at your own pace too. I mean, you can move as fast as you want to, you can move as, you know, take your time if you want to. Like I've taken my time, like I don't have any videos out or anything, but I've always like just taken the time to perfect the music, and or at least get it to a better quality, you know, than it was before. I mean, because it's always going to keep getting better and better, as you know, as long as I keep working on it. But the music's something I've always focused on, as well as like some homies that I have, which I'm going to shout out Poppy Eastwood. That's my homeboy. And one thing we always talk about is the quality of music. Like you can, because we're like, at the end of the day, bro, like we're not content creators. Like, you know, we're not TikTokers, we're not YouTubers. Like we're artists, we're musicians, you know, so the one thing we focus on is the music. And like, eventually we will have to get on TikTok and take it seriously. But until then, like until we're on those platforms, you know, making cool content, like we're going to make great music. You know what I mean? And we're going to do our best to perfect it, because at the end of the day, bro, like they're going to the show to hear the music. You know what I mean? Like they want to see you, but they want to hear the music. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's just perfecting the craft.
Which is, that's always the most important part of like anything you do, but like especially like in music is like you need to work. That's your primary thing, is to work on the craft, like work on like your craft, like get better at what you are actually like doing. And yes, like the other stuff is just like it is side stuff, and it's in this day and age, yes, it almost is like necessary to
mandatory
do all
almost.
And it's crazy. Like it's even why like on like NoiseROT is supposed to have like a TikTok now. I've been focused on Instagram just because it's accessible. Because I know once I start TikTok, like I have to. The way I want to do it, I'll have to like post daily and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's a lot of responsibility.
There's one creator I follow. He's a fitness influencer, but he said he would post like 40 times a day. I don't even know how that's possible.
I'm like,
but
what are you posting? Like, what do you
20
mean?
times a day.
And it's people. So like, I go even like at once a day is still like very little compared to like to what you need to do. But and as an artist, like right now I'm doing it, and it's specifically just for like, you know, our company. But like if I was like had like, let's say like, you know, the band I'm working on, and now have to focus on like putting out content for that. I'm like, dude, I just want to write music, like, and just like play. But it is a huge like player in the game, like these days. Like you need to be able to like create content based on it. And I like people who find their own niche way of doing it, like their own like specific way where it's not particularly like trying to do what everybody else is doing, but they find their own way to spread like their music and stuff like that. And it's I mean it's cool. It's like I like this. Like I've found a bunch of like artists on TikTok just because like,
me too.
You know, either someone might be doing like some dance to it or some shit, but I'm like, wait, what the fuck is playing? And I'm like, I'll click the sound and start finding. So I definitely appreciate the fact that like it's a great way to like to spread your music, and that I just don't like how big of a deal it is like sometimes. Like I've even seen like some of like the label artists were like and I don't know if I totally believe like these situations, but they're like where the label's like, oh, we won't release this until you get like this many, like you have to get a viral video. And I'm like, that's fucked up if it's true. I go, but it's also like, is it all a ploy for us to like feel sorry for like like, you know? So I'm like, I always don't know.
I honestly, I wouldn't put it past labels to say, okay, you need to get at least 1.5 million views on this TikTok or likes on this TikTok or comments.
But like, it sounds like a label thing to do. It sounds like someone who's not the artist, like out here would be like, oh, like
I'm looking at numbers all day.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Where they'll make the decision based on just that versus based on like, bro, like it's this person, like that song's gonna hit, you know what I mean? Because like that artist like has a following, you know what I mean? Like no one's.
And I get why labels think like that, dude. Because like you said, like I've found plenty of artists on TikTok. My favorite songs, like I have a whole playlist of just like, you know, songs I found on TikTok, but they're really good. Like it's because the artists that are creating on TikTok and are putting out content are putting out really good content, like genuine, original stuff, and promoting their best music. So I get it when they blow up and the labels look at that and they're like, okay, well, if we want this artist who we just put all this money to, like, if we want that return, we need them on TikTok to do this and that. And it's, I don't know, it's crazy.
And I don't know, because then I'll see, like, I saw an artist, I forgot what their name is right now, it's leaving me, but they've been blowing up because they've been doing, like, covers of songs, but then like they're struggling with their original music. Like everybody's like, no, like just asking them to do more covers instead of like. And I saw that as early, like, man, a long time ago when like on YouTube there was an artist called Boyce Avenue. I don't know if you
Boyce Avenue.
And I remember.
In a huge catalog of cover music. Yeah.
And I was one of those people where I was like, oh, their covers are fucking sick.
Yeah.
And I think I heard one of their original songs. And I was like, fuck, that must suck ass, like being that artist and being like, dude, I work hard as hell making all this music and nobody wants to listen to it because I've been associated, like, you know, we've been associated with, you know, with this type of genre of covers and stuff. So nobody is looking for the original. So that's the tough part about becoming some, like, just one aspect of like social media, just like, oh, you're getting a lot of attention, but none of it's going to what you actually want it to go to.
Exactly. Because they use it as a way to get people to watch you. And dude, they've toured, like they've gone on big tours and stuff, but all their music is covers. And then like, I don't know, like I get it. Like that's what they were doing. Cause there was a lot of people on YouTube doing that back in the day. Like, I don't know if people are still doing covers on YouTube, but like not like they were in like 2014, 13, like, dude, that's what a lot of artists did. Like they did covers every week when a new song came out. They dropped the cover
that was
for
a
it.
Thing. Yeah, they already had the cover. Like,
but before you know it, it's like, oh well, I only know them or I only like them for this cover they did, or like these few covers they did. Like I know there's one dude I watched, Chester C. I don't know if you know him.
Chester C. Why does that sound familiar?
He's like one of them back in the day, and like he has one original song that I really really like. The rest are covers.
It's weird because you get, like I said, you get to a point, and then like, I know back in those YouTube days, like the ad revenue shit on YouTube. I mean, I know it changed, like it's different now.
Yeah.
But the revenue way, like people were making like a shit ton of money. So of course you're like, I'm gonna, you know, do as much as I can just to get this all attention. And you think, and it's like, oh, it'll bleed over. Like people are already like me.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna bleed over into my original stuff. And I've just seen it happen. Like I think there's a band called Our Last Night that like does a lot of those. Like and that's the same thing. I'm like, I don't know any of their original music. Nope. Like I just know the covers, know. Yeah. And I feel like this person that now I'm seeing on like TikTok, I think it's happening just the same way with them.
Yeah.
And I've seen them kind of get a little upset about it. I'm like, well, you set yourself up like for it's tough, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
because it does get you attention, but it's not, again, it's not the artist like part of you. It's not feeding that part. Like
that's that's that artist, R&B artist Austin, and he did the what's the Billie Eilish song?
Yeah. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That's like his biggest song, and he has good originals, and he's like, he promotes his. I feel like he's the one artist who really balances it, because just the original way he's done, like rework the song and put his own version out, and also drop actual like good music.
And he's been it's because I do follow him, and I've been like seeing how he's been aiming how to do the same type of like trend stuff, but with his own music. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he's pushing more of that. And I stopped seeing as many covers, because I think he probably recognized it right away. And it's like, oh, okay, like, no, I need to get people to listen to my actual shit.
Like,
you know what I mean?
He's like, okay, the whole what if this song is getting out of hand?
Exactly. You know what I mean? Because he would have been doing that forever. You know what I mean? Like, and so I feel like he noticed it and was like, all right, I'm gonna chill on that, because that Billie Eilish one was fucking dope. Yeah, he's done a bunch of, because I remember listening to that, and I'm like, immediately like went and like I was like, oh shit, he did record it. Like, I want to download. Like, that's fucking, it's a good song. Like, it's a good reworking of that song, and I listen to that version more than I do the Billie Eilish one. You know what I mean? Because I like that. But I did see like, it's like, oh, okay, like let me rework it and you know, work into my own music. But that's the kind of, I feel like that's that double-edged sword with like going viral on stuff. Especially even like some artists that like have made viral hits. Like, you have these artists who have like these millions or billions of streams on like one song that became a viral hit, but because they had no follow-up to it, like there's nothing else, or
the momentum slowed down.
And it's hard to go, like, especially because just the nature of going viral, it's like immediate. It's like all of a sudden, like, you're just going on your like little fucking day, and then all of a sudden, like, you're fucking crazy up here popular. What do? Like, you didn't, it wasn't like a natural, it wasn't like an easy trajectory. It was just like, you know, here, bam. And
you woke up in the morning and your TikTok's got 1 million views.
What do you do now?
All
like,
these
you know
people,
what I mean? Like, and like, and maybe you don't have like the resources to like keep up that momentum, do all this stuff, and then you're expected to have them, and then people notice that you don't, and immediately like you have your time, and then it like goes, you know, you go down. So it's very, people want it, and he's like, but it's like being able to keep that up to whatever momentum.
Yeah, because they want it right now. Like, as soon as they find the thing that made you pop off, they want the follow-up. Like, they already heard it 30,000 times. Like, they want the next thing already, and you weren't even prepared for that. I know, like, when I first dropped my first project ever, that's what I was hoping for. I was like, man, I hope this blows up. This song's on, it's really good, blah, blah, blah. And, like, the older I've gotten, the more I've done music, I'm like, blowing up's the last thing I want. Like, wake up in the morning and all my shit is just like, you know, like, I mean, I have enough music out now, which I guess it wouldn't be too bad, but like, it's something you're definitely not prepared for. Like, you're not prepared to have a ton of fans off rip. Like, as soon as you wake up and you have all these people who want more music and videos and all this shit, like, you're just not prepared for it. And I don't know. Like, have you ever thought about like your music blowing up and what that really entails? Like, as someone who writes music,
I don't even like. It's easy to try to, well, not easy to try to conceptualize it, but like, it's not something that I don't know how that's gonna happen. Like, if it ever does, and I guess you should be like working hard for like your music to like one day like have that, because it might. Because I mean, you see these artists who like seem like they pop out of nowhere. But it's like a song that they wrote like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and like it just now like hit. And then, but they've been like working, so people are like, oh, like, you know, they came out of nowhere. I'm like, they've been working. It's just like someone finally found it, you know what I mean? And it started spreading. You start seeing like, again, because of the internet, man, like people are finding older songs and like they're becoming hits again. Like, it's crazy with the power of that. Like, what was that? Damn, I remember that song. I can't remember his name, but the dude skateboarding and just like with the cranberry juice.
Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, Fleetwood Mac. Where that like song with like
Dreams. I think it was Dreams. One of those songs.
Yeah, it like started like charting like fucking crazy. So, and like I said, it was a song that it's a great song. Like, but out of nowhere, just because like somebody, again, it created like this sort of like trend, and it blew the hell up again.
And that literally just happened to Pierce the Veil with King for a Day.
King for a Day just happened.
Like, when I get on TikTok and I'm just seeing King for a Day and all these people are like doing this trend, so I'm like, well, this is fantastic, because I love that band. And that song's really good, and I'm just like, wow, this is so freaking crazy. You get on one day and someone decides to do a TikTok and the rest of TikTok decides to do it too.
Yeah,
it's just really
like
cool.
Just blew up, and then like they've been. I saw clips of like the show that they just recently did, and it's they're playing that song. And people are fucking losing their minds. Yeah. But like, I mean, if you knew like Pierce Vale, like you're like, yeah, that song's fucking great. Like they've been like awesome. What do you mean? Like you know,
10 years later too. Yeah, good job, 2012.
I love that band so much. I always love because they were all Hispanic, and I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, and their music, bro. Their music's always
great. Yeah,
like I started listening to them in 2015 or 16. And I started with Collide with the Sky, and then I went back to Selfish Machines.
Oh, okay.
My sister's a diehard fan because I put her on, but she's gone all the way back to like Flair for the Dramatic.
Wow.
She loves that album. And I'm like, I haven't gotten there yet because that's like really old scene shit. And I'm like, haven't gotten there yet, but the rest of the shit, like, it's really fucking good.
Yeah. No, they've definitely been a great band for a while. I'm glad that like, that's one thing that does make me happy when like bands like that get revived and stuff. And then sometimes like it motivates them enough or gets them enough attention to be like, you know what, maybe we could write music again.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, you don't ever like, I don't really know what the fuck Pierce DeVale's doing like these days. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. In my head I'm like, yeah, they were fucking great. They must be doing awesome. And I don't know, they might not be. You know what I mean? So like something like this reviving that. So I see like and stuff like that going viral. I like see that and like that's fucking cool. Like they're out there playing these insane shows, you know, again, which I'm sure
back on the road.
Pierce DeVale can fucking like tour still. Like if
they
wanted to tour,
they're on tour right now. Actually,
someone was like, I think someone was talking shit because they're on a tour and like they're not headlining. It's like
it's someone else is headlining.
I Prevail, I think is headlining, if I'm not mistaken. And some people were like, oh, like they shouldn't be like
they should be headlining their own show.
But which is like neither here nor there. Like if they're on it, obviously they wanted to tour or whatever. But yeah, stuff like that. I think like that's good. Like even shit like the running up the hill, like with
the the Stranger Things.
The Stranger Things song. With like the thing I liked about that one is that apparently she owns like all the rights to that song. So she's fucking rich. Like she's fucking rich. I'm like, dude, there's when normally like especially like when she was writing music, that's like a time where like I feel like labels were just fucking like fucking everybody over.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's crazy that she like she owns all that.
She didn't make shit off that song when it came out.
Yeah. But no, even back then, like she's always owned that shit, and like all of a sudden out of nowhere, like if she wasn't rich before, like she fucking is now.
For real.
Like someone calculated how much money she'd be making, and it was a ridiculous amount.
Oh,
like,
dude, I believe it.
But that's cool. Like I like when it goes for the better. You know what I mean? But it is scary when you look at like. You know, blowing up overnight and just being like, what do I do now? You know what I mean? The pressure of like, okay, now I'm expected to be at this level at all times. You know
and then you're just like, I don't know, like I feel like there's also like you're not ready for it. So if a label comes at you with these contracts and shit, you don't know anything about that. You don't really know what that entails. I mean, you don't even know what you want to really do with your music. You know what I mean? Like if you just blow up overnight, because no one really thinks about that. Because obviously it's like. I feel like it's a coin toss. Like it could. I mean, you don't really know. Like I said, someone woke up one day and was like, "Oh, King for a Day really slaps." Like I'm gonna make a TikTok of that shit, and it just goes crazy. Like out of nowhere. Like you just don't know. And I've thought about it. I'm like, I don't want to blow up like that. Like I would much rather take my time, release music I really like, versus having all this pressure, labels. All like everything all at once.
I feel like growing like that steady movement of growing a fan base, because that's the other thing is like growing a fan base is like really important, because those are the people that are out going to shows, because like I mean you don't make shit off of music like release so that having like all those streams on hand sure it'll get you like a paycheck, but that's nothing at all like compared to what you're gonna make on the road at shows or like meeting people. That's why like and it depends. Like some labels apparently take from like are starting now to take from like your touring and your merch and stuff like that. And apparently before it was just like they would get all like the music shit, like you wouldn't get money for that, because it's I think I was talking to somebody. They were like, labels are basically just banks, dude. They're just loaning you money, because those 360. I remember when I first like heard about 360 deals. I'm like, what is that? And it's like, they just lend you the money. You have to pay it back. You know what I mean? Like
they give you the money so you don't have to work and you could just focus on your music. But before you know it, you owe them like a lot of money.
And if your shit flops, like where are you getting that money from? And then because music is subjective, it's very possible that it will flop. You know what I mean? Like you can, it's just gonna be hit or miss.
And that's why they put so much money into the videos, into everything for you as an artist, so they can at least try to guarantee it won't flop.
Yeah.
But if it still does, then you're double fucked.
Because it's crazy. Because
owe them even more money.
Who's just flopped that I just saw? It was like a big deal. Was the Game's new album.
Oh, really?
He put out like I think it was like 30 tracks on it. Like it was a ridiculous amount of tracks, but like it didn't make enough money because like I think they had to like drop somebody's verse off of it because they couldn't afford it.
Really?
Like it did really bad. I think it was aimed to like sell like 50,000 units or something way ridiculously low. Like, and he had like a shit ton of features and stuff like that, and it didnn't do it. I'm like, that's a fucking nightmare. Like, think about that. I go, that's somebody with like notoriety, has like access to all these like people and features and stuff like that. Did an Eminem diss on it, and it still flopped. You know what I mean? Like, did a 10-minute song diss on Eminem, and like
10 minutes.
It was 10 minutes. Yeah.
Wow.
I listened to the entire thing, and I'm like, this is really long. Like,
that's a lot of shit to talk about.
It's a lot of
10
shit
minutes
to
on a song?
Yeah.
Good God.
But even like seeing like that, you know what I mean? So like that's why I feel like doing that base, like where you have, you know, your fan base, that people that will actually like support you, you know what I mean? Like, or take that chance on the new music that you're trying to do, because it's very difficult. It's like really important, especially once it's your living. I mean, once it's your living, then like, yes, you do have to focus on that stuff. Yeah. If you're just writing music because you enjoy it, then yeah, that's fine. You know, make whatever you want. You don't have to worry about like it being successful or anything like that.
So my parents are super supportive of the music, you know, and my girl too. And I've told them, like, there's a big part of me getting older that I'm like, do I really want to be in art? Like, I want to tour the world, and I want to obviously play my music for people. That's fun. That's great. I was like, but do I want to do it on like such a level of like fame and out in the public eye, and you know what I mean? Yeah. Just so much light on you. I was like, I don't know. Because, like you said, I mean, once the music's your living, you know what I mean? Like, that's your job. Yeah. And I thought about that. I was like, okay, what do I want my job to be in music? And honestly, dude, I would want to just write songs for people. Like, straight up. Like, just be at home and just write songs for people all day. Like, honestly, that sounds fun. Yeah. That's how Frank, I think, got his start, Frank Ocean. Like, oh, really? I think he started as a songwriter. And, I mean, obviously, I don't know his whole story, but I just know, like, Beyonce heard his stuff and was like, I need him on a plane. You know what I mean? But he's just been writing songs for people. And another songwriter I really like is Ryan Tedder of One Republic.
Yeah, One Republic.
Dude, he writes
everybody's shit.
Yeah, and they're all good.
It's crazy how much that dude writes.
Like Benny Blanco, like producing and writing songs
Benny
too.
Blanco's
like,
another one. Like
just and that's all they do is write songs. And I'm like, I want to do that. Like, I just want to be at home, like with my family, and just write songs. Like,
and I feel like they still get to be like their own artists, but they still have but they still have like that side, which is like another hustle for like their music. So this is one thing. I had a guy on here, his name is Hunter Avant, and he was like, so people talk about like, being a musician and making money in music is difficult. He's like, but it's he's like, you have to think about it as more than just like you being an artist, because he does ghostwriting. He works in a studio like ghostwriting for, like, he's like done some pretty big artists like now. Oh wow. And he does his own music now. He just like went into the studio to record. I forgot what studio he said, but it's a really nice one. And then he does lessons. He'll do like vocal lessons. Like, I think he plays the piano and like the flute. He does like, so he's like a teacher. So he's like so I am he's like, I haven't had a regular job in 7 years. He's like, I haven't worked like anything hourly, blah blah blah. Like, everything has been, it's like, I make money off of music. Like, music is my living. He's like, it's just all these different avenues take. But like, he's like, and the thing I saw with him, he's like, I still get to write my own music, and I'm about to put out an album. He's like, and hopefully, you know, that also like helps supplement that same income. Like, it's still music, so I still get to write my music, but I get to write songs for other people and still get paid for that. It's still working in music, so I still get to make all part of it. And he's good, so like it gets to flex like his skills as much as he can, and use like what he like has learned in music to, you know, because now he makes a living with music. You know what I mean? Like, that's a way to do it. And I feel like most artists, like, unless like you're like crazy like up there, like most of those artists are doing that, like writing songs. I know like Charlie Puth's another one. Yeah, like, Charlie Puth writes a lot of songs. You know what I mean? Like, writes a lot of songs and still does his own stuff. You know what I mean? But that's the way, like, he kind of flipped that perspective on that. He's like, yeah, you can be a musician and like make, you know, a living. It's just, you know, if you want to take a different route, you can just add a different avenues to your skill set, you know what I mean? To be able to supplement what you want to do.
And it still gives you time to work on the music. Like you said, he's going to put out an album soon. Like, you know, he's still able to kind of sharpen that skill, you know, of writing and of like even like maybe producing and just kind of like putting songs together, you know, like because that's something obviously he loves to do. Yeah. And he gets to do it for a living, you know, and the songs he writes for other people, I mean, that could give him ideas for his own music, you know what I mean?
So, and that's exactly what he's like. He's like, yeah, I get to being able to write for other people, like helps me like learn a little bit more about songwriting, especially because like he's writing like definitely outside the genre that he normally like performs. He writes like a lot about because he's like, definitely like a pop artist is what he wants to do, and like he's written vocals for like EDM artists, like they need like vocals, like he just like performing at like some huge like fest like in Colorado, but he's like written for them. He's written for like I think a reggaeton artist.
Oh really?
Yeah. And this is it's funny because this dude is like this like really tall like white dude and shit, but he's like I wrote like all the melody. I mean it's all music, you know what I mean? Like he's like, I can fit into it, but it allows me to, you know, maneuver my way into all these like different skill sets, and I'm like, that's badass. That sounds so fun.
Bringing in something new, like especially when you're writing for different people, different genres, like that's constantly keeping things fresh in your mind, like and challenging yourself to write those songs. So that's really cool, honestly.
Yeah, because like I've always thought that important of like being able to diversify the type of stuff like that you listen to or intake to write like whatever genre. Like let's say you're trying to write something. You know, in a more R&B like thing, like I probably wouldn't listen to all R&B to try to get that sound. Like you take elements from everything, because like I always think about that when I like was playing in the metal band. Like I didn't ever listen to metal to write metal. Like I was getting inspiration from fucking like the weirdest one was like I think one song that I wrote, it was inspiration from like Juan Gabriel, dude. That I was like I wanna. It was just like I wanna make like this emotional as this, and I'm like and taking like inspiration from that. So. And collabing is something I've seen people do a lot more these days, or just like sit in like people's studio session and notice how other people write. Just helps you build more like what your skill set to writing. So that's something I enjoy.
Yeah, collabing is, and I've done it more this year than anything. I've put out a song with Xavier. My boy at Hustle, I put out a song with him, and it's been fun, dude. Like that definitely. Inspires like or brings a lot of inspiration, even motivates a little bit when you can work with other people, you know, and it's not so much just on you to write this whole song, like inviting others and having them give feedback and ideas. Like it's really nice, you know what I mean? Like I think it makes the process flow a bit better, especially if you have a good relationship with them and you like what they're doing too. Like the song I put out was called Friend, and I had Javi on it. When I made the beat, he was the first person I thought of for it. And I was like, as soon as I finished the beat, I put the hook on there, and I was like, you know what? I need Xavier on this. Like, because I know he's doing more rap. And on this song, dude, we're just talking shit. Like, that's pretty much it. And so I hit him up, and I was like, yo, would you want to, like, put a verse? He's like, yeah, I'm down. Give me 2 weeks. And I'm like, all right, bet. He sent it back, and I loved it, dude. Like, and it's just so cool, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just, collabing it's very useful. You know what I mean? It's
very useful. It makes projects fun, especially like you were saying, you're writing the beat and already we're like, this would like, he would sound dope on this. Like that's such a good like feeling to have, because I feel like I like the more collaborative era of like music where people are like wanting to work with other artists instead of like it's all competition type of thing. Like, oh no, this is like my stuff. I enjoy definitely like that idea of like bringing someone else in and be like, hey, you know what? I could write this entire song, or like I could bring like my friend who I know is gonna sound good on this. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And if it's friends, it's people you vibe with, then it's gonna be even better, because it's like you already know that it adds just more to that confidence of like they're gonna do a fucking good job. Like
you already know them, you know their musical skill and their talent, and just know them on a personal level. So you're like, nah, I trust them. Like I have confidence in them. I know they're gonna kill it. And then they do, and you're like, okay, great.
And it just adds perspective to yourself, because like I've had times where I'm writing, especially like when writing in a band before, I was like I would only write a certain way, and I didn't know, like I was like, no, I feel like I'm changing it up quite a bit, but I was kind of stuck in a pocket. And then they would like bring like a different like song to me. I'm like, oh, I can't write to that like at all. Like it's like, oh, try it or this and that, or opening up like myself to try something different that I wouldn't normally have thought of. Or I used to be the type of person like, no, the song's done, like that's fine like that. And then someone else would bring another idea and be like, oh shit, I didn't even think of that at all. You know what I mean? And it made the song so much better. Like, so collaborative like efforts like are great, like just for yourself as like a songwriter, just to build that up. It builds that skill set. It adds even more like ideas to your brain, and they end up being fucking badass. Like you have like all these people working together and create something great.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I mean, it really does add more to like your arsenal per se of like ideas and things you want to try with music. So, collabing's it's been my kind of thing this year, I'd say, because I dropped one song with Xavier, the next song with my boy Hustle, then I have another song that I'm doing with Pop Eastwood, and that one's not my I don't want to say favorite like the others don't. I love all my songs. They're like my kids. I love them all. I like it. But no, Concentrating. The song's called Concentrating, and I wrote it in 2021. I think last year. I think summer last year, and it's been shelved. Like open verse, shelved it. Couldn't think of anything else for this song. I'm like, my brain or creativity or ideas I have for the song is run dry. Like, there's nothing else I have for it. Yeah. And so I sat down, I was like, what am I going to do? Am I going to keep writing to it? What am I going to do? And I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to get him on it because, like, I know his sound. I know his taste and his style. Like, he would kill it on this. So that's something we're working on, too. But it's like, once again, he sent me a verse, and he just has... his verse is really cool because it's kind of sectioned off. Like, the first part is got, like, some distortion. You know, the second part of the first verse has, like a filter, and there's so many ideas going on and so many changes in his verse that it's making me rethink like the chorus and my verse, and I'm like, damn, like should I like like kind of match him and like add this and take that away and like just rework the song. So like I said, bringing other people into your projects adds way more value, like every time. You know what I mean? Especially like I said, if you know them and stuff. And it just
helps elevate, man. Elevate you, you know what I mean? And luckily having access to those people around you is again will make you, like you're saying, like, oh, like maybe this could be different or better, you know what I mean? Like maybe I need to go back, which is that like badass motivating factor that I like about collabing. It's like people push you to be like, oh, if you made something, maybe it wasn't like the best thing that you made, and then someone comes on and puts like something better or brings you a different idea or something, I'm like, all right, hell yeah, I'm going back and fucking making this shit better. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, and that's fucking cool. Like that's such a great benefit to like collabs and stuff like that. On live shows, you play instruments too, right? Like with certain songs.
So this last show I incorporated the guitar, and I loved that. So live music is kind of where I started with music. So my grandpa pastored in church for years, and I grew up in church. And one thing about church was that's how I kind of started wanting to play the drums. I watched like a lot of Blink-182 videos, and I was like, I like the way Travis Barker's what he's doing on the kid. I was like, I want to do that. Then my church was like, my grandpa told me they were having like practices on Tuesday nights, and there was like a brother there who was teaching and stuff. So I pulled up, and he only spoke Spanish. I speak no Spanish.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we're going based off of like pats on the table and stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like, and he's just kind of showing me, the beats, I guess, to the songs, and I'm like, okay, and I just kind of like mimic him and do it. And before I know it, dude, it basically just sparked this whole thing of like wanting to learn more instruments and play them and stuff. So live music, live instruments, that's always been my bread and butter. So yes, I brought them into the live show. And that's what I wanted to do for this upcoming show on Chill Sounds. I have a buddy of mine who's going to play guitar, and I want to bring in piano. As well as have my DJ, you know what I mean? Because I've always wanted to be in a band, so I'm trying to put it together. And it's really cool. It's really fun, and I just think, I don't know, live instruments just bring a different feel. I feel like I sing a little bit better when I have like a guitar with me, because I can kind of feel. Might be corny. I don't care. I kind of like acoustic guitars. I feel the vibration of the chords, and then I feel like I can hear the chord better, hear the notes better, and sing them. You know what I mean? Gotcha. It's really weird, but I just feel like live instruments, and that's why I love Javi so much, because I love watching the band play. I love watching them in their pocket and watching them do their thing and just go crazy and feel the music. So
that was my first time, seeing him, and that like threw me off because I listened to like his discography and I'm like, okay, I know what I'm walking into, and then like seeing that I'm like, no, what the fuck? Like that's not at all like
a whole different ball game.
I was like, that's so we went down there and had a podcast with him, and that's the thing I was telling him, I was like, dude, I was so thrown off, but that must be so cool, like to be able to do both of the, be able to do two different styles of the same like song and still like still capture the same energy, and it's just really cool, and I like that you do that too, and so I'm excited to see you at Chill Sounds with like the new elements, stuff like that. That's
because I'm definitely focused more on the chill sounds, like so we're gonna be in the courtyard, and I'm like, okay, we're outside. I don't know what the weather's gonna be like. I hope it's good. I hope it's at least cooled down a little bit. And dude, I'm definitely bringing like very, very chill vibes, like a very calm sound and more intimate, because I feel like that's really special. And then I feel like I have more freedom in an intimate setting versus like, I don't know, like big crowds are cool, but small crowds, there's just something different. You know what I mean? I feel like you can connect with people better. I feel like I connected pretty well with the crowd this last show. Yeah. Just talking to everyone, like, because I kind of just talked to them like as if they were one person. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it just felt natural, And I know like my homeboy Danny, he's Xavier's brother, plays drums. He's a producer as well and a DJ. He does a bunch of shit. He does everything. I know like his take on it's like small crowds are scarier than big ones. I think that's what his take was. I'm pretty sure that's what he'll message me and tell me I'm wrong, but I don't know.
You misquoted me.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel the opposite. I'm like, I don't know why I love a small crowd. Yeah. Like there's just something about singing to like 10 people versus 60. I don't know what it is, but it just feels more intimate. So that's what I'm looking forward to about the show.
It's definitely a more intimate setting. Yeah. And Chill Sounds will be fucking fun. I know we're definitely looking forward to having you.
Yeah, dude. It's gonna be great.
But yeah, man, I know we could keep talking a lot more, but I'm gonna try to wrap it up here. But I'm glad, I'm really, really happy like that we definitely got to like experience like your live show, and then like now that you're and then joining us for like Chill Sounds and Breakdowns, which is October 15th. So you should be there. You still have chances to buy tickets, so buy those. But yeah, dude, it's gonna be an amazing time. I know. I'm glad that you're getting. I guess more chances like play more, because I would like to definitely see like a lot more.
Yeah, and I have more ideas for future shows, and like I said, all these songs are different, but if there's 10 songs, you could say like 3 songs are of one genre, 3 more of another, and 3 more. So I feel like with every set of songs could be a different show and a different vibe, and that's what I want to bring.
That's badass.
Yeah, that's cool. What I want to bring.
That sounds fun as hell. Yeah. But yeah, so thank you for stopping by, Dakota.
I appreciate you.
Bornouttalove. Definitely check out everything they have. They have a bunch of music out already. And we'll have more. Damn, that one just died.
Yeah, there we go.
Just died. So you have to take it out. You have to tell them that we'll see you later.
I'll see y'all guys. Pull up October 15th. Chill Sounds of Breakdowns. More details coming soon because I don't know when I'm playing.
Hey, all right. We'll see you guys later.
Appreciate y'all.
Go.